You want to be a taste tester.
I could use a,
That'd be a good way.
I could use a whiskey somewhere.
Concur.
Yeah, we're all on the sugar coma.
Might have to do that tonight.
Welcome to the Tuesday, September 6th, 2022 City Council meeting. Would you please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Bergman,
Here.
Nichols,
Here.
Osborne, here, Siebel,
Here.
Smock.
I'm here.
Number 4, approval of the September 6th, 2022 agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5, approval of August 16th, 2022 regular meeting minutes.
Make
So-
that motion for approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Osborne? Yes. Siebel,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes.
Bergman,
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Request from Jeff Scarborough. He did reach out to me. I guess he is also dealing with his insurance company on this little project to lower Myers Lake for repairs to retaining wall. Council had asked me to bring it back in the fall. Getting close to the fall now, so.
I got a problem with that. You lower it down, you got a harsh winter, and it doesn't fill back up. I went through a fish kill down there one time, and I mean, it was one hell of a mess. And if we get rains or a lot of snow and it melts, we're okay, but if we don't, and that water freezes down, there's gonna be a big fish kill. I don't see why they have to lower the whole lake, I don't need to sandbag the area.
Well, we're only gonna lower it to just to encompass his area right there.
What do you mean, just an area?
Chris, can you speak more to that?
12 inches. We'll take it away from the bank 12 inches.
That's it. I mean, it's not going any further than that.
Chris, I'm kind of curious. I was down in a house on Evansdale, Alan Nichols' house, and his dock is underwater. And the one next to him is about up to the platform where you stand on. I couldn't understand why we would be high. Why would we be high there? Are we that high with the water level right now in the lake? I mean,
No, I mean, I haven't been back to the rear in a minute, but I don't think so.
he told me that, and I thought, well, I'll go look, and I did, and it's way above his dock.
I can look into it tomorrow.
Yeah, just to maybe just let him know. I was surprised it was underwater.
What was his address?
Oh, Alan,
He's just 2 houses,
1216, I
he's
think.
2 houses west of Gene Walker.
the greenhouse,
Yeah.
the double garage.
Yeah, the cedar's actually super low. It's at 5'9" right now. So we should be maintaining at what we have the weir at. But I'll go check it out.
All right, I appreciate it.
So, back to this, I mean, you did ask me to bring it back to council for consideration. I don't know if we can deny him since it is, that portion of it is his property. Right there up against, I mean, within what, would you say, Chris, 10 feet of his retaining wall?
The water belongs to the state, regardless if it's even on your property.
Okay. Well, maybe I need to check with the DNR then.
Yeah, I would check with the DNR, cause they're the ones, yeah, cause that would be
Okay.
what to go
Yep.
through.
Wouldn't they have to approve the outflow into the cedar?
And I don't know if they necessarily have to go to outflow, but the level is maintained at a certain level, mainly due to fish kill and stuff like that, cause we took 2 big tandem truckloads, a dump truck full of fish out of there, dead fish one time. Stink, boy.
Oh, man.
I guess the only question I had on that, I didn't bring up last time, is I've seen when they work on bridge work in the water, they can barricade around and work right in the water. Could something simplification be done there? We can go out around and just kind of encompass that area. We're not talking like 10 foot of water right now
Sure.
anyway.
But like,
Kind of measure and leave the water level alone.
Sandbag and then pump it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's probably a cost issue.
How deep is the water there right now?
I don't know, I haven't been over there.
It's up to the brick,
Up to his brick?
yeah, it's up to the wall kind of, yeah, it's not like feet above it. But I don't understand why down at Alan's house it's above his dock.
Yeah, I don't know. I can go check it out. Well, we were only proposing to drop it a foot. I'm not doing the bottom gate, I'm just doing the top one that we can control.
A foot from where it is now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, well, that probably wouldn't hurt anything. I figured you was going down 3, 4.
No, I'm not going to that bottom gate, just the one that we can control,
Oh.
that foot one that,
With that idea, is there any maintenance to that gate that we could perform at the same time?
to our gate?
Yeah,
No, our gate's good.
okay.
No, if it's only a foot or a foot and a half, that probably wouldn't bother anything, but I figured it's going down 3, 4 feet, and then that could cause a problem. If we didn't get any rain or snow and turned 80 degrees on January 1st, and we got a problem.
Is that a motion just to go 12 inches then, Ron?
I motion we approve it then, if that's all it's gonna be.
And define it, 12 inches, so that's on record for
You
him?
know.
I'll second that
Might go
motion.
13, but that's,
It's a baker's dozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we say up to 13 inches?
I can only lower it 12.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh,
My gate only goes to 12, and then it's at then I'd have to do the bottom gate, and that's like pulling the drain on a bathtub. I mean, that's at the bottom.
yeah.
as
Okay.
long as you're not 2 foot or something, 2 or 3 foot, that's what I didn't know how far he was going down. If he's going down the bottom, then he'd be down quite a ways.
Right, it's just 12 inches.
so we give him 12 inches, and anything more that he needs, he's gonna have to figure out.
Yep, that's the way I would put it.
Put it at 12 inches.
I'll second it.
Did you get the first?
Was it Ron? Yeah.
Ron,
First,
was that
and
you?
Bergman
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request from Animal Control Officer Shares to remove vicious animal from city. I know that I sent a video out to all of you on your phones, and then also send an email out to you. I would like Clerk Lydig to read what the council motion.
Siebel, second by Bergman, denied request from Animal Control Officer Shares to remove vicious animal from city. However, required Angela Hernandez to have Milo licensed, on a leash, and be muzzled when outdoors.
Well, she has failed to do that at this point. It is clearly obvious. As you can see from the video, the dog even followed these people way past their property line. You know, it was into the other people's property line by that. It did nip at him. It did not break skin, but I believe the city is in liability situation right now as a result of this.
She
It's-
didn't do anything to comply with.
She did not.
Well, she did get her dog licensed, but she is not following the rules that, like, we set forth.
Now, we set out rules. I hate taking a dog away from somebody, but if they don't follow the rules, then, I mean, if a vicious dog, then we give her a chance, and if she doesn't want to, then go from there.
The dog's not gonna be euthanized, just has to leave the city.
Yeah, I mean, they just can't be in city limits anymore.
Okay, can you just give us an update on that down the road, what happened there?
Yeah, I mean.
I would think that she could reach out to a rescue where
Yeah,
they
she can
could give,
rehome it, whatever, but
yep.
Make that motion to remove the vicious animal from the city.
Second.
I'm gonna do a roll call on that.
Smock,
Yes.
Bergman,
Yes.
Nichols,
I don't know. Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Siebel.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. Number 8 is approval of the consent agenda. All items will be enacted by one motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as posted.
Second.
All in favor, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 9, approval of the resolution calendar. There's only one minor change, and that was on the compensation changes for the police officers. It showed the effective date on the right-hand column as 7/16, and it was 8/16. Clerk Leidig is going to be making that change on that resolution.
Make a motion for approval of the resolution calendar.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Nichols,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Siebel,
Yes.
Tomas,
Yes.
Bergman.
Yes.
Number 10, and we can definitely vote on these individually, it's municipal housing board appointments. Municipal housing was lacking a board, a person for their board. Civil Service Commission, just to clarify, Mr. Ryder has had some health issues and is not going to be able to continue moving forward on that board. And Heidi Frank, that was on that board, her term expired. And then Board of Adjustment, Jeff Dawson, his term had expired too. For some reason, didn't get on the agenda at that time. Apologize for that. So we'll start out with Municipal Housing Authority, please.
And this Jackie Wilson,
Yes.
Dale Wilson's husband.
Denny.
Dan, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yes.
want to make sure I have the
Yep.
right one.
She's
I
worked
know
at
two
Fairway
of
for
them.
like almost 20 years.
Okay, I know
like
two Jackie
18.
Wilsons, wanted to make sure I had the right one. 'cause
Who's
I'm
she
related to the
replacing?
other.
Okay, what's that?
Who's she replacing?
Either or.
I'm not for sure. He never told, oh, yes, I do. She moved away. Anyway, the gal moved away. She had a really super duper long name. I can't think of her name right now. My life depended on it.
Well, we sure we wouldn't want to vote for her then if we got to know her name, or if she moved away so she can't serve anymore.
She can't serve anymore in the city because she's no longer a resident. That's what happened, Ron. Thank you for asking though.
Who you proposing?
Jackie Wilson.
Oh,
She was on the library. board
That's
for a
who
little bit.
Michael Benning, Michael Benning had recommended her.
Were we taking them individually, Mayor? I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
So I'll move
Yep.
for Jackie Wilson to be appointed.
I'll second.
Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Civil Service Commission, Randy Weber to fill vacancy with term ending 6/30/24. Jeff Johnson with term ending 6/30/2025.
Mayor, what does the Civil Service Commission do?
They are, work with the police department, because we are a 411 city, chapter 411, if you ever want to read that chapter, most confusing chapter in Iowa code, for the police. So if they hire, fire, whatever, they have 3 people that are on this commission, that actually help interview. They're present when the testing are they present when the testing is being performed, et cetera. They work hand in hand with the police department.
And Chad's still on there also, like we just.
That is correct. Yep.
I don't see a problem with it. I'd make a motion to approve Randy Weber and Jeff Jensen for the Civil Service Commission by the dates posted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Board of Adjustment, Jeff Dawson, with term ending 4/1/27. On the Board of Adjustment, you can serve 2 terms. That's it. It is a limited board.
This makes his second term then?
This is correct.
Make a motion to approve Jeff Dawson as stated.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I put it in front of you, we've already been asked this question. Building Inspector Santamaro stated this is something that is coming. Waterloo and Cedar Falls have experienced it, people wanting to build barn dominiums, and they're basically a pole building. Waterloo does limit it to vertical siding, so it looks more like a home. It is a home and a very large shed all in one. So I wanted to give you a picture. We're not gonna make any decisions on that tonight, but I would like some direction on which way you would like us to go.
I guess my first question would be, is it really needed in this community? I mean, I've never heard, I think we're doing fine with our standards that we have. I don't have a real interest just taking a look at what you're saying myself personally right now. I mean, there might be more dialogue come out, but I'm not a barn burner for this in the town.
We don't have any code to prohibit.
Can we make a code?
That's why, that's where we're at right now. We have no code to prohibit. And just so you know, I reached out, I have had several complaints, about the amount of pole buildings we have in our city. People complaining that it's bringing down their property value. I took it to planning and zoning, and they denied it moving forward. Doesn't mean I can't bring it to council. There's things that you could do to limit them, maybe size. I would, if you guys are interested, I would like Inspector Santamaro to come maybe to the next meeting and visit with you about some of what other cities are doing when it comes to pole buildings, when it comes to barndominiums. If you would like to limit, because people are already talking about buying houses here and tearing them down and putting those bad boys up.
Well, these probably look a little bit nicer than the little 2-bedroom houses that we have. Or
Yeah.
maybe just a pole building that's just like what I have. My pole building's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
This looks a lot nicer, but
I
I don't
think-
have the money for this, but you
I
know.
think they're pretty cool. Well, it's like,
There's
it's
a
probably
big-
like the third of
there's
what
a-
it costs to build a house.
Oh, no, I don't know if it's a third. My buildings, my warehouses are pole buildings, but mine are built right, it's got overhangs on them, it's got
Yeah.
insulated, they're heated.
Right,
And as far as the building, it isn't gonna go no further than, if they're built right, than a stick-built house.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
But a lot of them, they saw that they don't have any fascia or soffit on the thing or no overhang, and it looks like a piece of junk, like there's a couple on Lafayette Street here. Looks like a piece of junk. It isn't an attractive building at all.
right.
And,
Well, we can limit that. I mean, we can limit, we can
That's
put
the
in
only
some
way,
design standards
It-
for them.
It'd be no different than what planning, zoning, and then ultimately us did for the mobile home type thing, the manufactured home where we required foundations. So, I mean, we could probably get some consideration out of other cities and then get some caveats put in.
Well, once you put a foundation, it's no longer a whole building. That's
Yeah,
true.
because they
That's
are, they are
Yeah.
built on a slab.
Well, and so what I'm saying is, like we did for the manufactured homes, had requirements, we could get requirements put in for this, if we want to consider having them.
I
But
mean,
I
I
would-
think that people are really making them look fancy nowadays, just because. but
There's some really nice looking ones.
There's, I
Yeah.
mean,
But
we're
people,
older,
that- if
there's
they're
a
built
lot of
right,
rural people
we've got a
living here,
couple in
so-
Evansdale that look real nice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there's a lot more of them that look like crap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, Mary, you initially said vertical siding. Do you actually mean horizontal siding?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Sorry. That is vertical siding.
I don't know how they're gonna put metal would look funny horizontal.
Well, I get, if you guys would like to entertain, making
There's-
some
In
changes.
fact, there's a couple in town that's put their sided their house with this and they use it horizontal and it looks like,
Yeah.
I don't wanna mention any street or anything, so.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I don't know, I mean, I think. I
It
mean,
looks out of place, put it that way, more so than what a,
I think the people, I could be wrong, but the people that are looking for something like this are gonna be people that are wanting more rural areas, so I don't know if we would get a lot.
yeah, we've got a few of them in town now, but I don't think there's a big demand for,
Yeah.
other than for,
Well, this is, we've already had a,
Someone-
inquiry last week. So this is a house inside a pole shed. So they've purchased property in the city and they want to tear down the house and they want to build,
there's a real nice
Barndominium.
looking one, I think it's on the road between, Raymond and Old Highway 20. I'm pretty sure that's a big building that's been like this. They got a pond out there with a lake, and they've got another barn-like building out there, and it looks real nice.
Something that pops in my mind right now is like when they're trying to do something like this, it's more commercial, like ag related, like they wanna be able to work on their vehicles or on their farm area stuff, so, I mean, we just need to be, I mean, if we do something like this, we'd wanna make sure that that code said, you know, it's not, you're not gonna run a business out of it, or however you
Right.
want in that
And no-
particular area anyway.
And I don't, if you guys are familiar with the garage condos that are real popular right now as well, it's basically people have gotten too many toys and they need a lot more storage. I mean, probably one of the fastest growing businesses, even in this area, are storage units.
I see that.
It's like a epidemic or something like that. But yes, I'd like to have Steve come to our next meeting and just talk about some different things that Raymond has done, City of Waterloo has done, and then maybe update our code as a result of.
Do we know where there's one at right now where you could go by and look at it anywhere that hasn't been up anywhere?
The one that Ron mentioned, I believe that might be a friend of mine, so.
It's got a lake and another building
Yeah.
out there. It looks real nice.
Where's it at on?
I think it's, well, on, what is that name of that street? It comes into Raymond on,
North Raymond Road?
Raymond Road.
Raymond Road.
North Raymond
Oh.
Road.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be Raymond Road.
Well,
yeah.
maybe cruise by there and see if you can see it.
That's
or
on
maybe
the
you
east
can
side-
get us
east
the
side of
address.
street.
Yeah, I'll see if that's the same one.
That looks real nice. It's nice landscape.
There's one off
But-
63 in Hudson, right behind P&K, they bus, right off 63.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Request from Public Works Director to purchase 300 tons of roll salt from state bid in the amount of $29,433 with Morton Salt. This is a state bid that we received from the state. Morton doesn't have anything to do with the pricing. It's actually done by the state of Iowa. We did get a 3 vote to approve it because it was something that had to be sent right. This is just a formal. Yes,
I had a question about that.
okay.
Kelly Parker, Marion Street,
That's
Marion
not
Avenue.
on.
I was looking at the rates, and you said they're set by the state, but we are
Yeah.
a significantly higher rate per ton than the other areas, and they have listed. Wondering, can we negotiate to have a lower price?
I think maybe
I mean,
there's a freight
it's
factor.
a state bid, so they set it, you know, there's different things in each of these bids that determine the cost. If it's how, you know, how many load it's gonna take to get it to your house, which is how many, Chris?
I think we get like 15.
Yeah, it's several, so we're not anywhere close, so, you know, right now they're factoring in fuel.
I
So
figure
there's several
freight.
elements that go into that bid. The last time we had a state bid, which Chris was actually to skip last year, so we actually haven't, purchased salt since 2020. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so, the last time we paid $90.42 for it. So the cost is just, it's went up, not quite $8, but that's pretty much the travel expense right now with the price of fuel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, I just had a question followed up with Kelly. Do you have any logic why Mount Vernon with the same tonnage is $8 less than us? Is it mileage and fuel? Is there some?
Yeah, they're closer.
Yeah, like-
Yeah.
To where it has to be delivered, and plus, a lot of it is how much they can bring at one time to our location. And that was the indicator from the state that I got. Because we can only bring in a certain amount at a time is what limits them, because obviously that's gonna cost more for gas.
So they're not bringing
So
all
many.
300 ton all at once?
They are absolutely not.
So there's the difference.
So there's the difference, because of our own storage
That's correct.
capabilities
Okay, that-
Yep.
is what's going on.
That makes sense then.
So you save it to winter, now spread it on the street.
Yeah.
Do it as they come through town?
Well, it doesn't come in until, yeah, but this is a formality, you know, I sent it out on email as well, so.
Well, last year we plowed 4 times, we salted sand probably 25 times. I mean, we went through a lot last year. So each year is different.
Depending if you're getting the ice or if you're getting
Right.
the snow.
Right.
'Cause that ice is brutal.
Yep.
I'll take a motion to pass, please.
I'll make that motion to approve the request from the Public Works Director for the 300 tons of road salt for $29,433.
And 14 cents.
It didn't say 14 cents
No,
on
it
my,
doesn't.
on my copy.
Well, my glasses were tilted. Second, which nobody did.
All in favor, please.
Aye.
Opposed? 13 is request from Public Works Director to replace, it's actually gonna be remove and replace a gearbox for the, what year was it?
International.
The International, from K&M Services not to exceed 2,000.
Is this just a day job, Chris?
Yeah.
I'd make that motion on that also to approve the request from the Public Works Director for $2,000 for the 97 International Gearbox replacement from K&M Services.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 14, request from the mayor to have bridge rating performed by Chuck Britson in the amount of $3,060. This was our biannual, because it's every other year that we do this. Well, it would be, that's not biannual. Anyway, we do the bridge inspections every 2 years. That's required by the DOT as well as the federal highway.
These include all bridges?
This is actually, no, this is actually just the load rating. They're doing the inspection of all of our bridges, the 4 bridges, but this is above and beyond that inspection because the DOT is requiring us and the federal highway is both requiring us to have a bridge rating, load rating performed. That is not something we have to have done every 2 years. That's kind of throw your name in a hat. Oh, it's Evansdale this year. We did have, Chris and I met with the Iowa Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Division out at Dubuque Road Bridge, and it was very interesting. They looked at our bridges, said our bridges are in good condition. They did recommend, which will be something that we look into next year, that we do an epoxy, epoxy fill
Yeah, you.
on the top.
Yeah, they kind of pump it in.
They pump it into the bridge. We would actually work with Buchanan County. They have the equipment. All we'd have to do is buy the epoxy. That's something that will come forward maybe next spring as we look at that project, or maybe after we budget that project, because that wasn't something that we even knew about. But it will extend the life of the bridge. What did he say, 20 years?
Yeah.
Or something like 20, 25 years? Because we just had Dubuque Bridge done in 2015. But yeah, if it would preserve it for another 20, 25 years for a little cost, and Buchanan County would be happy to work with us on that.
If this is a requirement, is there any way to have a reimbursement request from the Iowa or federal? No, okay.
No, but I'll sure ask.
But I like your thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're telling us it's required.
Yep. On that same level, Mayor, anything that can go to bid, or was it already to bid on this? Is it too specialized for organizations to do it?
Well, we've been using Chuck Britson for years. There is another company that Elk Run uses, but I found that they're quite a bit more expensive than ours. And they are the ones that already do our bridge and are doing, or did do, what do you call that one? It's every other year,
From
every
just
other.
the previous term.
Yes, yep. I mean, we've been using them for quite some time, actually.
they met with us out there too.
Yeah.
When the federal association was, they were doing a audit, right?
Yes,
On the DOT, and they
Yes.
were out there with us, and they were super impressed with the records and the reports that we've had in the past, so
yeah.
I was impressed with them.
They've been doing a great job for us for years, so.
Right. The details, I mean, they just kept going on and on about the details that they put in these inspections. It made us look really good.
And keeps the federal government off our back.
Yes, and the DOT, Iowa DOT.
I can always appreciate that. I'll move to accept the bid for $3,060.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 15, public discussion. Please just state your name, address. Okay.
Hi there, my name is Kate Wyatt. I actually live at 419 2nd Street in Hudson, so not a resident of Evansdale, but I am running this year for District 76 House of Representatives for the state of Iowa. Evansdale, Elk Run is included in that, so it is a very large district that encompasses Little Waterloo and Cedar Falls, but a lot of rural areas, Evansdale, Elk Run, Washburn, LaPorte City, Gilbertville, Hudson, Traeger, Dysart. So we have 3 counties, 33,000 people. I am running as a Democrat, probably going to be the most right-wing Democrat you'll ever meet. To be honest, I have been a no-party voter my entire life up until about 6 or 8 months ago. So Dave Williams previously held this seat, and I have stepped in to take over his role, hopefully. So wanted to stop by and introduce myself. I am a lifelong resident of Hudson. I've been on the Hudson City Council for the last 9 years, going on 10. With that, have been the chair of the Public Safety Committee, which runs our fire department and police department, as well as building inspector, as well as the Mayor's Task Force for Economic Development. So we do a whole lot of trying to get things to bring people to town and work with our other communities. I am an insurance agent for DuPaco Community Credit Union. That's my real job, if we want to call it that. And I've been there for a few years, worked in insurance for the last 10 or so. But really looking forward to just meeting people in the district and doing some door knocking, getting some information out there, just to talk to everybody about what their concerns are. Some of my key issues, and if you want to, I do have a website at Wyatt for Iowa. Public schools need to be funded fully. We need to take care of our kids and our teachers. Rural EMS is one of those big things to me, and Evansdale really falls into that as well, that, you know, the smaller communities out there. I talk about Hudson volunteers, and I don't know that we can find a better group of volunteer firemen in the state. I love our volunteers, and they take so much pride in that.
Ours are better.
And we appreciate everything that every firefighter does in the state of Iowa, but there's more that can be done. And there's more help that needs to come from the state to make sure that they have the tools to do their jobs correctly, especially when we're talking rural and country areas, and making sure that when 911's out, somebody's there to actually come help you. Mental health care is a huge thing. It's a huge crisis in Iowa right now, and it's definitely something I think the state needs to focus a little more on. So we've got some things like that, as well as economic development. You know, we need to focus on things that want to bring people to the state of Iowa or into our local neighborhoods, because if we learned anything from COVID, people can live, work, and play wherever they want to. So we need to figure out something that's going to bring them and want them to stay here, as well as companies that do want to come in. You know, we can offer tax incentives, we can offer free land, anything we want, but unless they find people that'll work there, they're not coming here. So we need to figure out those ways to get those people and to keep our kids here too. So that's just shortly about me. Didn't want to take up too much time, but wanted to make sure I came and said hello and introduced myself. I grew up running the streets of Evansdale. No, I just won't say that. I have a whole lot of friends that I went to East High and lived in Evansdale, so I spent a lot of time in this community. We'll be here for the parade on the 17th. Looking forward to that. So,
Oh, awesome.
if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to leave some information, or you can always visit my website. But hope to be back a couple of times soon. And if there's anything that I can do for you, please feel free to reach out to me. So, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
Appreciate that.
Anyone else? Mayor council reports.
I have one. So, looking at the Evansdale Facebook page, looks like Cedar Falls and Waterloo have jointly set Saturday, October 29th, 2022 as their Halloween date. Talking with Mayor, traditionally, I guess we've done the day of Halloween. From their reasoning is sound to get parents and kids more time. They're like starting at 5:30 and going to 7, I believe. More time during the day rather than rush home from work and then try to do it in the evening hours. I don't know if, again, here I'm new on this council. I don't know if we want to consider doing the same date as they do. Just a thought.
I asked him to bring it up. He talked to me about it, and I says, well, council approves that every year. But I didn't know if you wanted me to bring it to you as the 29th or as the 31st. So we've traditionally, I'd say we traditionally have kind of followed along with Waterloo and Cedar Falls, because it seems like the kiddos are all going out in the same night. I guess my only concern is, since we've always done the 31st, how are we going to get the word out that we're doing the 29th instead? Because that could be a major
Next they'll come up with Christmas and want to celebrate it on the 20th to get ahead of everybody else.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm wondering about, there's some trunk or treats already set for dates. I wonder if I don't know if we'll really impact them, yeah, but we should probably take that into consideration, but I don't know if that would really impact them. I know every year, like, I'll go to Ambets and we'll hand out candy in the parking lot. And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if that would impact them or if they just choose to keep doing it that same day, or, you know, I don't know what to think about that one, because I didn't think about that until you brought it up.
Yeah, I'd be willing for any feedback before our next meeting to,
Yeah.
Well,
before we put it on the agenda.
I'm bringing it out now because that gives us 2 months really to if we decide to do this, we can get the word out. But I mean, again, I'm new here,
Yeah, we
so.
probably want to approve it by the first meeting of October, at least, to get
My
the
own
word out
personal
there.
deal is it's been good the way it is, and why
Yep.
mess something up that's
Now,
people are used to.
as a working mother, that now my kid doesn't trick or treat anymore because he's too old, but as a working mom, I'd come home and you have to rush out the door to get them out there, and if it's on a Saturday, that'd be so much better, but that's just me, and now that doesn't really apply to me, so I can't really give my opinion on that one.
I haven't been out for quite a while, but I.
Well, maybe it's time, Ron.
I'll take you trick or treating.
Well, is it a chance for us to not have to compete with Waterloo Cedar Falls? All the other events, all the other things going on, we can't figure out, we can talk to the AMVETs. The Fire Department Association will do it whatever night. You know, we set it with our trick or treating, so that one I can safely say is whatever night we choose. But there are a lot of other little things in town that they put up to actually set those in the same. So they may even just wait for us
Maybe.
to set that date so that they can set theirs too. You may not, I totally understand it, as much as I've seen the remarks that there has been good comments on the Facebook pages. I have not seen said good remarks on said Facebook pages. So I understand why they're doing it, or excuse me, why they are doing it, and some of the concepts exactly to that, to have to rush home, so I get it. But if you want to go trick or treat Waterloo Cedar Falls, go Saturday.
Yep.
If you want to come trick or treat Evansdale, we'll take you, we'll be here.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I mean. if
It give
anybody
them,
wants to come, then
allow the kids 2 nights, they can go and do some of their festivities and
And
come
it's
over
the, and
here.
it's the Saturday before, so all the riffraff can get their fun done somewhere else, and then it's just candy here in Evansdale, so.
We hope.
It's a school night.
Do we know of, just like, I know that the Fire Association and then AMVETS, does anybody know anything else that the
Churches.
churches?
Yeah, some of the churches do
Prince
it,
of Peace is another big one.
yeah.
I'm just wondering if maybe, you know, we could reach out and just kind of touch, you know, like just touch base with them and say, hey, this could impact you by any means, but.
And again, I want to say that this isn't my proposal. It's just that something came up on the neighborhood page, and one of the comments was to get it to us here, and so that's why I took it upon to bring it forward, I guess.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Just want to put a special plug out to our 75th anniversary event on September 17th, starting at 10 o'clock with a parade, ending at 11 o'clock with some wonderful music in the afternoon and evening. Fireworks at 8:30. We're gonna have a 50-50. That's gonna be at 6:45. I have a lot of free things for the kids, face painting, games, inflatables. I think it's gonna be a good time for everybody, and it's a great time to get together as a community. Special plug to Jurley, who's gonna be doing a history presentation of 75 years in Evansdale. I also want to say I'm completely humbled by the support of our community with donations that we'd received have more than paid for the event. So kudos to Evansdale businesses and surrounding partners to also be like some of our Bolton and Meek, McClure Engineering, Electric Pump that we do a lot of business with have also donated to it as well. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
To get into business, I brought up about planning meeting, and I know
Yeah.
the mayor and I have talked about it. It's something I think we need to get on like sooner than later and discuss a lot of things for budgetary reasons coming up, projects that we're doing, projects we want to do, how we're going to do them, what's going to be the financing behind it. And then that leads into the council getting with the mayor. I think the best thing to do would be to do it on the Tuesday night we don't have a council meeting. Everybody's kind of accustomed to 6 o'clock. Everyone can get here at 6 o'clock and have it totally dedicated to talking about the do's and don'ts and planning and what we want to do, what we can't do, what we're going to do. I think it's very beneficial for the community to get started on this and get a direction of where we're going. The other thing that's dear to my heart is Lafayette. I'm the one that originally started out with this project with the former mayors to get this started rolling, and it's going to become a great project. But what I'd like to see us do is the council, I met with Dan a little bit, is maybe get our street department involved in cutting out some sections that are bad. It has a couple, twofold. If they don't get fixed before another year out, when they snow plow, hard on equipment, tear the road up more. I've seen about 6 spots out there. I did talk to a former mayor that said if they needed help or advice on doing repairs, Chris, that he would come and help out. And I mean, I'd just be a common labor guy. I would help. And I'd like to see us take that on and with the city staff and fix that down there. It's not like redoing the road. You cut out a 2 foot wide by the width of the road, and then you stub it and you pour it. You can broom it and forget it. And it's going to fix a lot of the issues that we got coming in for another year out. So I want to bring that for information for the council to think on. Another thing, when we talk about work, I've kind of run this around in my mind that with the way the city seems to have to run around with parks things all the time, maybe entertaining and talking and thinking about maybe a parks department that does the mowing and does their projects and the whole bit to take some of the load off the city staff so we can get more things done. And see, it's going to be a communication thing between the entities and see if we can function better is what I'm getting at. To not have our guys running all over, maybe them have a committee or a parks department that would actually work. And this is all just part of planning and discussing what we can do. And I'd like to see us do that. So I'm bringing that out to the council to think about that. And then the last but least, on Central Avenue, when that first come up, we were told that we were going to save some money, and I did talk to the mayor. I think the city staff could have cut out and removed the cement. I really think they're talented enough and got the equipment to do it, but we're paying, according to the sheet, $20-some thousand to have curb and gutter removal. We talk about where we're going to get money. We talk about how we're going to do projects. If we look at these things to maybe be more active than we are, and save $1 here and there, maybe we can look at other things going on to get things done. And it just bothers me that we're not doing that project when we were told that that was going to be done, some of that by the city, not the road, but the removal and the cutout. But it's just things I want everybody to think about as far as where we're going to come up with money, how are we gonna devise things to get more things done? These are just a couple, I don't wanna bring a whole postcard in here, I've been told that I bring too much sometimes. So it's, these three things are dear that I think we need to get on now and be talking about where we're gonna go with it or where we're not gonna go with it. So I'd like you guys to think about that, you can get back to the mayor and me, discuss these things, get with Chris and the street department. Like I said, if a former mayor would come, if they need help, he would come help them, because I do know for a fact, years back, the street department, this is before Chris's time, they did patch Lafayette with cement slabs. I know I was told they didn't, but I have proof that the mayor actually went out and showed them and helped them put in patches on the road. So I think it can be done by the city staff. We're not trying to pour a whole road. But I'd like to see us really look at this as far as a little more in-house. I mean, we could have saved, we can save some money. I thought we were gonna have that on the budget to talk about Lafayette, but I didn't mean to bring it up out of turn.
No, that's okay.
But I'd like to have us get on this stuff and look at this and be working at getting this done. I don't wanna pay $5,000-$6,000 a patch. We don't have to be like painting a car. I mean, you can stub it off on the ends and put your rebar in and pour a slab and room it. I mean, I think they're very capable of doing that, and I'd like to see us work together to get that done, being we missed the Central Avenue proposal to save money.
And I'd like to clarify that. We do not have a 9-inch saw. We only have a 7-inch saw. So we were not able, and I verified this with Chad as well,
We could rent it.
it was gonna cost us the same amount. They came back and he was only charged us, what was it total, Chris?
$9 a foot.
$9 a foot, $9 a linear foot. And with us doing the removals, then just to do the curb cut, he was gonna charge us $8 a linear foot. So we weren't gonna save $1, we were gonna save $1 a linear foot by doing it ourselves. So, the gentleman that bid that piece of the project was charging $9 a linear foot. We said we wanted to do the curb removal,
Right.
and he says, fine. The gentleman from Asbro says to him, I'll need to get a quote, what you're gonna charge them just to do the saw cut. Just the saw cut, $8 a linear foot.
Okay, well,
I mean, that is why we decided to not remove the to remove the curb, because it actually made no sense.
So I was wondering, they're turning it up down there, why are we removing the curb?
We are not removing the curb.
Well, there's a lot of it missing.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we're removing the curb as part of the project, but our guys are not doing it for $1 a linear
No,
foot.
but I say, why are we removing it to begin with? Evans Road has got 2 layers on there with the same curb. There's only maybe 1 layer on that. Why are we tearing the curb out?
The curb is garbage.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons of doing that project, was the curb. The curb is so deteriorated out into the street.
Well, if it's even into the street, your asphalt's gonna cover it.
That was part of the project,
'Cause
sorry, but
I don't know what it looked like before.
Yeah.
But every other street I think we've done in town, we've left the curb and blacktop over it.
And Steve, we are looking into doing that. It wasn't put on this meeting yet because we hadn't received all the information we needed.
Well, the only reason I brought it up, Mayor, is when I look at the bid sheet and what we actually agreed on for tear out and removal is $21,000. So I don't know this $8, $9, $1 linear foot variance. I'm just looking at the information that I voted on, and we went with what the tear out and hallway was, and I thought, well, for $21,000, why can't our guys do it? So is that not a true figure in the quote for $312,000?
I mean, our quote isn't gonna be any more, and it's gonna actually be less, because there is stuff that we are doing as a city in that project. It is gonna be less than what we approved as a council.
The $312,000.
It is gonna be less than that, because we are doing some pieces of the project. It didn't make any sense, and we reached out to a bunch of different people. We do not have a 9-inch saw, so we were not gonna be able to cut that curb. So he wanted $8. He only was charging us $9 to cut it and remove all the curb. So then we asked him if he would just give us a quote on cutting the curb for us, and it was gonna be $8 a linear feet. So basically, it was like,
I didn't.
it wasn't, it,
Yeah.
I was strictly going off
in
of
other
it.
words, just let him do it, the whole thing. It wasn't gonna save us any money.
We put a deadline on it and he backed us in the corner.
Yeah,
I had no choice.
Yeah.
I reached out to Iowa Wall, they had to cut it for, 4 1/4 a foot. But I couldn't get him for 2 weeks. And he wanted to start, and we put a deadline on it, so
well, and it wasn't just that. We were gonna have to pay the $8 regardless, because for the curb cut.
right.
I mean, if we had someone else do it, but anyway, they did kind of back us into a corner, but we're not paying anything over what we already approved.
No,
It's
I
gonna be
wasn't saying
less
that.
than,
I wasn't saying that about the actual quote. I
Yeah.
was just looking at the line item, material removal, and thought we could have saved that, but if it comes in lower than that,
We
fine.
attempted to, believe
Yeah.
me.
yeah, Chris is always looking for ways to save money, but,
Appreciate that. That's
Yeah,
all I-
thank you for that, Chris.
What's going on in Eagles Landing down there? Nothing?
actually, I have some paperwork that I received from the Realtor, regarding the 2 lots out there, so I'm in the process of, reviewing it and having the attorney review it, then it'll be coming to council.
I mean, it's gotta have some curb appeal, and there's no curb appeal down there. Everything growed up to your shoulder height and weeds. And I know you can't get in there because it's all water.
We mowed, I mowed 30 feet on both sides.
Yeah, what's in behind that?
What does it matter, really? I mean, it's just rye, grass.
Well, it's water too.
I didn't see any water.
Well, Steve was down there, the whole thing was.
There was a lot of, well, that one night, there was puddles everywhere, it's pretty soft ground, that's been weeks ago that we.
Yeah, but I've seen it since, I mean, there's no curb appeal down there to sell it. I mean, it's nothing but a weed patch.
Well, I kind of wondered, we're not liable for the trees and everything in the front by the official sign?
I
You
think
can't
it'll-
see our development really when you go by now.
I think a lot of that's DOT.
Uh-huh.
That's all DOT.
I would think we could
There may
get
be a
them.
couple of them that we can take out when the time comes.
Didn't we have a couple parcels that were supposed to break?
Yeah, they're in the process of review right now.
I thought the picture shows that in front of McDonald's there, that was part of what the city bought. Where all them trees are. That's, you got hotels marked on the map, that's where hotels are gonna, you're speculated to
Well,
be built
that,
there.
that lot behind McDonald's to the south of McDonald's is not ours.
The
That
map
belongs
shows
to
it is.
McDonald's where the trees are.
Your map shows it is.
I didn't draw the map, so.
That's what I was told, the city didn't own that, but then I look at the map and it shows hotels there sitting in that same location.
Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh,
Wait, I
oh,
wanna say
I'm
something,
sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to, I see that Sergeant Weber is retiring,
He did retire.
so, I just wanted to, because I know there was his little retirement luncheon thing. Is that from 11:30 to 1? I can't tell on the flyer.
That was, and it's been moved again to the 16th.
Okay. But I wanted to say, I know he's not here, but I wanted to say I wanted to thank him
He's
for
gonna
his
be,
service.
actually, he was supposed to be, we were supposed to be, honoring him tonight at our meeting.
Oh,
And then he ended up having to go out of town. So it's gonna be on the 20th now.
well, thank him anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure because I couldn't tell with the flyer. It was kind of, so, but thanks.
Yeah.
Exactly, I wasn't aware of that. I never, what did you get?
There's a flyer, but
I
the
didn't get
flyer's-
an invitation to that thing.
I only saw it because it was down at the fire station and it keeps moving, so we keep taking it down. The date
Yeah,
keeps
this one says
floating.
9, so, but I don't,
I didn't get a thing like she said she got.
No, you didn't.
Is there a reason?
Yeah.
I was asked. So that's what I forwarded it to.
That's a community building together. That's not my behalf on that.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. before
All in
Christie
favor?
jumps in.
No, I'm done. I just wanted to say thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.